Alright guys, so here we are ready to install the 5-point race harness, and this is the race harness bracket kit. You got 2 brackets and some nuts and bolts. No instructions, but I think I could figure out how to do this. So this one over here has to go back there somewhere. I think I'm going to mount it right there. And then this one will have to go here in line with these mounting points for the seats. And I say that because you want to drill and mount it to this bracket right here in the center of the screen. And then when you drill to the rear, you're going to come out, probably going to come out just behind that. These are the studs that mount the seat, to secure the seat to the car. So you're probably going to come out like right in this area, but back there, like 1, 2. All right. This one's going to be easy. This one, the floor's not flat, so this one's a little tricky. On a C7, the floor is flat and it comes all the way back to this wall here. And as you can see, it comes up and then down. So should I try to mount this right on the center of that peak? I'm trying to get the bracket in line with this one here. This is the mounting point on the roll bar. And I'd like them to be in line with each other. I think for in the event of an accident, you probably don't want these mounting points, too far off of each other. You want the belts to basically come from the same point so that they naturally meet in the middle around your waist. So to make it in line, this bracket would have to go up against the stud. But then you have this void here, which I don't like. And you got a bit of a void there. So if I move it back like 1/2 inch and get it right over the center of that peak, although it's not ideal because the floor is not flat, it's a little tipsy, but when you bolt it down, it won't rock, obviously. And maybe I might trim this corner just to tuck this in more, because this one is like 3 inches away. This mounting point is 3 inches away from this stud, and this one's like 1/2 inch away. Not from here to here, but 1/2 inch from here to here, the center point there. All right, let me just think about that bracket and I'll be back. Okay, so I've got this one marked out. I know where to put it. From that post, from the center of that post to the center of this post is 14 1/8, so the center would be 7 1/16, and that's what this line represents. So then I took the straight edge and I just put it like that against the post, marked a line here, mark that line, and I put it on this side, just marked that line, and I took this, I made a mark in the center. This is 6 inches, so the center is 3, obviously. Lined it up like that, positioned the holes right in between those 2 lines, and voila. So that one's set. That was easy. Now to just mess around with this rear one. All right, let me think about this one and I'll be back. Maybe I'll just get that one mounted so I feel like I'm making progress. All right, I'll be back. All right, guys, so I've got the 2 seatbelt brackets installed. Nothing special, nothing too complicated. They're not fully bolted down just yet. I'll show you why. So this one I decided to keep it, I personally think it'll be best if I keep the mounting point of the two seat belts in line with each other. So in order to do that, you have to have this bracket all the way forward, basically up against this stud. Maybe I'll have to just make a tiny relief here for the nut that's going to hold the seat down to that stud. So first I'll have to put the seat in, then I can put this bracket, because you're not going to get that seat, the frame of the seat, around the stud like that, obviously. But that's no big deal. Let's go underneath. I want to show you what I did underneath. I did something a little different, and I'll explain why. Okay, so here we are underneath the car. Now, most of the things that you drilled through the floor have bottom plates, like the main hoop here. So I don't know if it's necessary, but there were no bottom plates for the seat belts. I understand, you know, this is structural, the main hoop, so you need a bottom plate for that. The rear down bars have bottom plates. So I just made my own. Didn't take me long, maybe 20-30 minutes. And I have a lot of metal, so I want to start using it and getting rid of it. So basically, this is a 1/8 inch thick by 1 inch wide, and it fits right in this channel here. So I made it, what, 9 inches long, I believe? Yeah, 9 inches long, and it's pretty simple. Is it necessary? Again, I don't know. But I feel a little safer having a bottom plate. Can't hurt to do this, right? So all I have to do now is just paint it black so it doesn't rust. And I did the same for the back, too. This channel here is 2.5 inches wide. I only had 2 inch wide by 1/8 inch thick metal, so I kept it basically in the channel here. And this one is 8 inches, and then I cut the edge to follow the contour of the frame. So that's basically it. And again, I'll just paint them black. Is it necessary? I don't know. But I was watching some videos, and some racing sanctions require that the seatbelt brackets have bottom plates, so that's why I did it. Plus it can't hurt, right? It's in the name of safety. So that's it. Now the only thing left to do is the rug, and I know that's not going to be that easy. That's going to be a little tricky, but that's it. And then we're done. Thank God. All right, so let me paint these and let me then start working on the rug. All right, guys, I'll be back. All right, guys, I was getting a little ahead of myself in the last clip. I just said I just have to install the rug and then we're done. I got to put the exhaust back actually first. And I had to modify this just a little bit. Because you welded those plates there, it doesn't fit flush against the frame, so you just had to bend this tray a little bit on both sides, but you could hardly tell. So I just took my adjustable wrench, just put it over, well, it's hard to tell, just imagine like that, and then just bent it in a little bit on this back half and did the same there. And I was able to use the holes, the factory holes in the frame, so no issues with that. I originally thought I was going to have to cut this out like that, but I was able to make it work. So, still kind of looks factory. Alright, so let me get the exhaust in and then I'll do the rug. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, so, what do we have here? I took everything out. Why did I do that? Well, there are several reasons. Number one, I wanted to weigh everything. I should have done it before, but it didn't matter because I was going to take the roll bar back out. And it literally only took me 20 minutes to take everything out. It was very easy. I wish it only took 20 minutes to put this in. But anyway, so I wanted to weigh everything, and I did. And the main hoop only weighs 41 pounds. The rear bars weigh 13 pounds. The two door bars weigh 10 pounds together. The brackets for the door bars weigh 3 pounds each. So this chrome moly is not really heavy. A lot of the weight, believe it or not, comes from the hardware and the bottom plates. And the hardware for the seat belts, the seat belt brackets. So that box right there is pretty damn heavy. So altogether we added 104 pounds. So basically the 90 or 100 pounds we saved with the weld wheels, we just gained it all back. But that's okay. In the name of safety, it's worth it. I'm going to feel a lot better going down the track with this thing in there. Okay, so that was one reason why I took it out. But the main reason why I took everything out, and most people don't do this, but I always do, and this is a good habit to get into. Anytime you drill through the metal floorboard or the frame or any part of your car, anytime you drill through metal, don't just stick a bolt through and leave it like that. Take a couple of seconds and put some paint on the exposed metal. So I went around the car, and anywhere I drilled through the metal, I just took a little brush with some paint and painted over the exposed metal. It only took 10 minutes to go through the car, through every hole, and do that. This way you prevent the rust. So what I did was I took the can of spray paint and took the cap off. I sprayed into the cap, and then I was just dipping a little brush into there and painting the holes. So that's it. That was the main reason. Plus there was a lot of metal shavings behind the main hoop that bolted up here. You could see that the metal shavings made a lot of marks. And I didn't even have this really tight. So I had a ton of metal shavings I had to get out. I wanted to paint the holes, I wanted to weigh it, and there's another reason, a fourth reason, but I can't remember. But anyway, I'm going to put everything back. It's late, it's like 11 o'clock at night. Alright, so let me get this back in there. It only took 20 minutes to take out. Hopefully it doesn't take that much longer to put it back in. I wish it initially took 20 minutes, but that wasn't going to happen. Alright, so let me get to it and I'll be back. And then hopefully the next clip will be the damn installing the rug. And then after I put the rug, I could permanently install the rear bars and then the seat belts, and then we'll be done. Alright, I'll be back. Alright guys, so I painted the brackets on the top. They came out fine. 2 coats of primer, 2 coats of enamel. Now I'm just waiting for some seam sealer to come. Some seam sealers say you have to scratch the surface or it has to be a rough surface. But the one I got from 3M says you could apply it to painted or smooth or finished surfaces. But what I did was I left just a little bit of raw metal at the bottom, so when I put the seam sealer, maybe it'll adhere a little better. I don't know. And then I'll put some seam sealer around the around the floorboard on the underside. I cleaned off the excess paint. Hold on. I cleaned off the. It wasn't overspray. It was the can of primer. The nozzle was clogged and it was just like spitting the primer all over. So I took some acetone and just wiped it down. Got it all off, nice and clean. Even though nobody's going to see it, but at least it looks professional now. Not so amateurish. That side didn't have any overspray, so it wasn't an issue. So the brackets are looking really good, even though you're really not going to see them, but at least I know it was done right. So So I guess the next thing I'll do will be trim both the door bars at the bottom. And then, then we could do the seat belts, which will be a little bit of a project. Then we could put the rugs in. Then we'll finally be done. Alright guys, so welcome back. So my automotive seam sealer came in. And now I'm just going to seal it up along the edges. I guess on the inside. I obviously can't get that in here. I'll just have to see if I can get some on my finger and spread it on the inside along the edges there. So the gaps are so tight, there's not really much of a gap to have to fill in. As you can see, the gaps are so tight. I did a really good job measuring and cutting. So let me get to it and I'll be back. I know most people would just not even use the tape, just spread it around, but I'm trying to do it as neat as possible, even though you're not going to see it. Am I creating more work for myself? Yeah. But I don't know, that's just how I like doing things. I wish I wasn't so neat and meticulous, but unfortunately I am. Alright, I'll be back. Alright guys, so there it is. I did the sealer on the top and the bottom. Let's take a look at the other side. Alright, so it's the best I could do. To get the inside was really difficult, so I took a tube and I cut the tip off on an angle and I held it against the inside edges, and then I just went there with my finger. Welcome back guys. So I'm trying to install the rugs. Don't count on the instructions for any help. I believe the instructions just say put the rug back, cut the rug around the roll bar, and enjoy. Yeah, it's not that simple. I finished that side. It came out absolutely horrible. Luckily the floor mat is there to cover up the disgusting work I did. This shit's really hard, and I knew this was going to be tough, this part. I mean, if you're a slob and you don't care, just grab a scissors or razor blade and cut the shit. So here's a tip. Get one of these razors. This is to cut a rug. I didn't have this when I did that side, so I went out and bought this. And get yourself some of this like rug seam tape. So if you cut a rug and you want to seam the cut back together, get this. So those are two tips for you. Here's another tip. This is an absolute nightmare to try to cut. This insulation doesn't want to cut with scissors or a razor. You're basically going to get pissed off and just start tearing it to pieces with your hand. So on this side, I'm trying to learn from the passenger side. I made a mark and I'll try to do my best to cut it out, like from here down across here and then up there. This is an absolute nightmare to cut out. I'm actually going to have to put the seat in. After I get this rug situated, I'm going to actually have to put the seat in. And then come in behind the rug here and get that bracket bolted down for the seat belt. Just because of the way I located it, it's going to be a little more difficult. So another tip, get the rug tucked under there first. Then I'm not going to even show how I do this because I'm doing it wrong most likely. But I'm just pissed off at this point and just want to get done. So I'm gonna cut out that material first. Then I'll start cutting the rug to fit around the roll bar. And back here it's a nightmare because you got this wall, then you got this wall here, you got this in the way. You can't get this out of the car because it's got that post glued to it and there's not enough room to get it out of the way. But whatever, it's a nightmare. And I knew this was going to be difficult. Alright, so let me get to it and I'll be back. Alright, so obviously I had to cut the rug around the pipe and then straight up to get the rug to go around it. But there's the tape, so the tape holds it together. Now this is covered also with that plastic trim piece that goes here, so you're not going to really see it. But this cut came out better than the others. But it came out better than the other side. So that's it. So let me work on this piece. I don't know why they got the biggest piece of foam block glued to this, and that's right in the way where you got to cut that around that bar. Alright, let me get to it and I'll be back. Alright guys, so here's the finished product. I don't really want to show too much. The video is going to jump around. I did lose 2 clips on how to do the rug. The rug is a pain in the neck to do. There's a lot of hard plastic you got to try to trim and cut out to get it to fit and settle around the roll bar. So in my next clip you're going to see this rug like up here. So you're going to be like, well, how the hell did you get to that point? Well, it's too late now. I lost those clips. I'm just giving you advance notice. So again, there's a lot of like plastic around here. It kind of like, it's like an L shape. Forms around there. You got to trim that to get the rug to settle around the bracket down here. But it's a shame because I worked hard at the video, and as you can see, the rug fits so tight you don't even see the seams or the gaps. And I showed how I did that too, and that came out really tight, but the video's gone. So forgive me if it seems like it jumps around, but I lost the clip. Alright, enjoy the next clip. I believe you're going to hear me bitching and complaining. Alright guys, I'll be back. Alright guys, I think this is what you have to do in order to get this to work. I cut some of the plastic right there, trimmed it on both sides. I don't even know where the hell it is on this side, whatever. Back there. I attached it there and there loosely. I got a block of wood holding this up. Now I can get the nuts and bolts in there and tighten them up. Then drop the rug, and then I should be done. And just have to do a little bit of trimming here, but do that once this is bolted down. I don't know. This is an absolute fucking nightmare. Taking this rug in and out 10 times. Alright, let me get them bolted in. Hopefully I'll be done soon. Next clip. Welcome back, guys. It is finally time for my favorite clip at the end of a project, and that is the very last clip, which means I am done with this project. This was a very difficult project. Now keep in mind, I'm just a novice. I've never done this before. This was my first time. I didn't have instructions for the majority of this project. And I only get an hour here and there to work on the car. So, no joke, this took me 2 months to do. Again, keep in mind, I'm just a novice and I only get an hour here and there to work on it. So this is the finished product. It's all done. It came out very, very well. I did make a couple of little changes. One of them being, so you got the door pin here. Over there you had a nut and bolt. I didn't like that. So I reached out to RPM roll bar, and they had a 3/8 door pin, and said that I could replace the nut and bolt that goes here with a door pin. So I think that looks a little better. I did that on both sides. And one other thing I did in the name of safety, was, check that out. I got a roll bar fire extinguisher mount. I'm just letting you know now, that one is made out of like some hard plastic. I was looking for an aluminum one. They have some really like nice billet aluminum ones, but they're super expensive. You're talking like $250, $300 for a good one. And there were some cheaper ones, but nobody made one that would fit around 1 3/4 inch bar and wrap around a 3-inch fire extinguisher, which is what that is. So there were a whole bunch of those brackets for the razors, those UTVs, but they didn't have it in those two sizes. So this is the finished product. That is a quick release. You just pull that red strap, pull that pin with the red strap, and then the extinguisher just lifts up. Am I going to drive around like this? I don't know. I don't really drive the car much, so probably. But worst case scenario, I'll just take this door bar out and this door bar out. And that's it. And the seat belts are in. As you can see, I got them tucked away. They work fine. It's such a quick release. It's really cool. You just twist this and everything comes flying off. The only thing I have to do, which I'm not going to bother to show, since this plate was welded crooked this way, it's coming into contact with this door here. So I just have to trim this right here, trim that off, cut that off. Just a little bit. It's just welded too far over to the side. You can see it comes into contact. So this is the finished product. I'm happy with the way the rug came out. Not so happy, but for an amateur it came out pretty well. Get yourself that tape that I showed earlier and use the tape to help close those seams. You don't really see them. I could redo that one, maybe get it a little tighter. But at this point I don't care. I just want to drive the car, get it to the racetrack. So that's it. So what do you guys think? Drop a comment below. Give this a thumbs up. This was a lot of work. And to make this damn video was probably just as hard because it's so many clips. So that's it. Nice tight fit. Nothing comes into contact. Everything works out well. That looks good. Alright guys, that's going to conclude this project. Thank God it's over with. I'll never do this again. I think I say that on just about every project I do. Alright, that's it guys. Remember, if I could do this, you could do this. So pick up a wrench, get to wrenching. You just might save yourself $1 or $2. And please continue to watch me wrench.